So today's our concept is views. Okay, so it's a very small concept. Okay, so today's concept is views. Okay, what is exactly a view? Okay, a view is a logical object of a database. Okay, so a view can contain all columns of a table or selected columns of a table. Okay, so let me show you. For an example, so this is the employee table. Okay, so this is the employee table. Okay, somebody, okay, asking me means for DBA. Okay, somebody from the development team or from the testing team asking me that, okay, Mr. Akram, can you give me the access for EMP table? Okay, because we have to perform some testing. Okay, so in that case I can't deny them. I can't deny them. Okay, I have to give the access. Okay, but I don't want to give the access on entire table. I want to give the access on certain columns only. Okay, on limited access I want to give. Okay, for example, this hire date. Okay, for example, what is the commission employee is getting, that is not required for them. Okay, so whatever the columns is not required for them, I don't want to expose them. Okay, I want to hide them. In that case we have to go with views. For an example, this is the employee table. Okay, another example. Okay, now HR department asking you that, okay, Mr. DBA, can you give me the access for the employee table? Okay, so as a HR, for HR department, okay, employee number is important, employee name is important, and their salary. Okay, these three columns is enough. Okay, for example, think that in the same table we have another column. Okay, contact number, address. Okay, so that is not required for the HR. Okay, so I don't want to expose those columns to HR. In that case, what I can do, I can create a view means, okay, so how many columns I want to give the access to them. Okay, so on that columns I can create a view. Okay, okay, then the view I can give them. Okay, for examples here, for example, I want to give access on this table, but limited access. Limited means access on these three columns. Okay, so I can create the view up to here. Okay, view. Okay, that's called a view. Okay, so within views we have two types of the views is there. One is simple view and another is complex view. Simple view means the view which has been created on single table, that's called simple view. Okay, if the view is created on multiple tables, that's called complex view. It's a very simple concept. Okay, so, okay, limited access you want to give on the table to some team, then the best solution is views. Okay, for example, let me show you here. Okay, to create the view, okay, user need to have a grant create view privilege. Okay, so after that, okay, I will be creating here a few table. One table, already I have a table. Okay, so when we create a database, okay, one predefined account will be created with the name Scott. Okay, so I have connected to that account. Okay, I am not aware of the password. That's the reason I have changed the password with the help of identified. Okay, so I have kept the password as Tiger. Okay, now see here under this Scott user, show user, username is Scott. Here select star from tab to check how many tables are there. Select star from tab. Now here I have 4 tables are there. Okay, now let me check the EMP table. Let me access the EMP table. Select star from EMP. Select star from EMP. Okay. So set line size. So if we give this command, okay, we will get the output in a proper format. Okay. Okay, so this is my EMP table. Okay, now some department or some team is asking me the access for this EMP table. Okay, but I want to give the access on limited columns only. Okay, in that case, what I have to do, I have to create a view. Okay, so right now I was under which user? Scott user. Under Scott user, I want to create a view. Okay, then as a sys user has to give the privilege to the Scott, then only Scott user can able to create a view. Okay, so let's connect to the sys user here. So grant create view to Scott. In case if you are using the focus user, in that case, instead of focus here you have to use Scott, here you have to use focus. Now let's connect to Scott user. So for Scott user password, I have kept it as Tiger. Now see here, select star from tab. Okay. So here we have overall 4 tables are there. Okay. Now let me create a view now. Okay. Create view V1. Create view V1. Here. Create view V1 as. Okay. We have to use the keyword as. Okay. Now columns. Okay. So columns, which columns? For example, employee number, employee name, salary. Okay, and what type of job he is doing, job and salary. So other columns I don't want to give the access. On which table? On EMP. So these columns are on which table? On EMP. So some syntax mistake. Okay, from I have to use here from, not on. From EMP. Create view V1 as select employee number, employee name, job, salary from EMP. Now here view got created. Now here select star from tab, it will show you view. Okay, so V1. Okay, instead of EMP table access, I will give the access on view. Okay, like this. Okay, I will tell them, okay, you whatever EMP table access you want, right? Okay, let's access the EMP table with this view. Okay, then they are going to write like this: select star from V1. V1. Okay, see here they got the access for those 4 columns, whatever I have kept it here. So are the remaining columns got hidden. Remaining columns, what happened? They got hidden. This is called a view. Okay, if you create a view on two tables, if you create a view on 2 tables, then that will be called it as a complex view. Okay, so apart from these views, okay, the other concept I will be going to take, okay, that is sequence. That is sequence. Okay, so what is exactly this sequence? For example, here I have one table is there. Okay, one table is there. Okay, so for example, already 11 rows are there. Okay, so whenever I insert a new row, I don't want to put here serial number. Here I have one column called serial number. Okay, so the for new row 12, for next row 13, 14. So instead of I giving, it should take automatically. Okay, in that case you have to create a view. You have to create sequence. Okay, so I don't want to insert the value here. It should, I will be going to insert the value only on these 3 columns. In this column it should insert the value automatically. That's too in the sequential order, means like this. When I insert say new row, it will take here 12. When I insert say one more new row, it should take 13. When I insert say one more new row, it should take 14, like that. Okay. In that case, if you get this type of requirement, then we have a solution called sequences. Okay. Now let me create a sequence. Okay. For creating the sequence also, we require the privilege like this: grant create sequence to Scott. So this privilege has to given from the sys user. So how to connect to the sys user? This is the command: grant create sequence to Scott. Now connect to the Scott user. So this is a command to create a sequence. Grant create sequence. So it's up to you. You can give any name for the sequence. Here I will be giving the name as sequence 1. Start with 1 means the number should start with 1. Increment by means okay. When second time it should increase by 1 means first time 1, the second time will be 2, third time it will be 3, fourth time it will be like 4. Okay. Maximum values, that means this sequence you can able to use, okay, max 100 times. Okay. So after that, no cycle means it should throw an error. Okay. It should, the value should not get again, it should not start it from 1. Okay. No cache, no order. Okay. So no. Okay. So actually up to here it's a mandatory. Okay. These are the optional. These are the optional one. Okay. So let's create the sequence here. So if you give up to here also, the sequence will be get it created. Okay. Now see here. So this sequence I will be going to use in department table. So before that, let me show you the department table values. Select star from DEPT. So overall here I have 3 columns. On these 3 columns, how many rows are there? 4 rows are there. So this sequences will be going to use in the insert command. Now say insert into department. Okay. And all the columns values. Okay. Here department value I will be not giving. Okay. Instead of that, I will be using the sequence 1 dot next val. Okay. So this is the very first time I will be using. It will start 1. Next time 2, 3, 4, like that. Okay. So in this I will be putting one value, and here I will be putting a value. So here instead of putting the value, I will be referring to the sequence here. Now go and check. Select star from DEPT. See here, automatic it took 1. For example, again let me insert another value. Select star from DEPT. See here, it's taking 2 here. That is the concept of sequence. Okay. So how many sequences are there in my database? Okay. If you want to check for this, we have, this is the command. Okay. If you keeps on practice, then you can able to remember all these commands. Okay. So yeah, right now I have only one sequence. The sequence name is CQ1. Okay. Minimum value 1. Okay. Maximum value was 100. Increment by 1. Now, instead of increment 1, okay, you want to make changes here. Okay. Instead of 100, you want to make here 200. Okay. Yes. Okay. We have an options using alter command. Okay. So that's to how I will be show you now. See here. Increment by 2. From now onwards, okay, for example, if you use now sequence, it will be going to like as, for example, 4. Next time it will be 6. Next time it will be 8, because increment by 2 I have given. If you want, you can cross check here. See here, increment by, it was showing here as 2. Okay. So that's enough for today. Okay.